with this gap down. Ashwini, what would the call be?
Okay, I don't think we have Ashwini with us. 24 seconds left for markets to open. 10,350, I think, keep in mind, we had a 200-point decline yesterday as well. And on top of that, you're talking about 140-point decline. Chhattisgarh might have changed the equation a bit. Otherwise, perhaps the market would have had a much better opening than this. So that becomes the, and that will keep changing. So let's see how things go from here. But we have the first rates now.
Yeah, there goes the bell, and it is 424 off on the Sensex and 136 down on the Nifty. Okay, 148 down on the Nifty, Sensex down 475. The Bank Nifty is a little worse off with about it was one and a half down, now it is 1.4 down, now 1.25 down, and the mid caps down 1.2. So, I think things are just improving a wee bit for the markets. It's now the fall is just reducing a little bit for the Nifty Bank. The biggest fall is coming in. Okay, actually, it's across the board. So somebody's selling the market. Reliance is down 2.8, iShirt 2.5, Indocin 2.5, Bharti Airtel 2.2, Bajaj Finserv, Indiabulls Housing, HDFC, ICICI Bank, all of them down about 2%, between 1.8 and 2.2%. Then come Asian Paints, M&M, Hindalco, Maruti Suzuki, all of them are down about 1.5%. HDFC Bank also is down about 1.5%. That's a big one. But now the index itself is down less than 1%. And let me see what's bringing up the green end of the market. Okay, just a minute. I think, Sonia, you have to read it. There's some problem.
Well, the mid-cap index has opened with an equal amount of red tick, so down about 1%, 164 points gone on the mid-cap index. The market breadth is very weak, 1:6 in favor of the declines. It's the NBFC space that's getting hit very hard this morning. M&M Financial down 4%. PNB Housing, the whole lot actually, Bharat Financial Inclusion down about 3% odd. A lot of high value stocks like Page Industries, etc. down about 2-3% odd. But it's not so bad right now. So the Nifty has now, recovered a bit, down about 90 odd points. Less than a percent, yes. It's recovered quite a bit actually.
Market is seeing quite a bit of recovery. I think the stock to watch really is Yes Bank. That's having a massive green bar. I think this is the frame of the market. It wants to look for perhaps good news in even perceived bad news. Just see the intraday chart on Yes Bank, and that would be quite interesting. And not entirely unexpected. Equitas is the other one which you would want to keep on your radar.
Also, all the IT stocks are moving up higher now. Techem, Wipro, Infosys, TCS are actually supporting the market, all up anywhere between 0.5% to 1%.
Even the currency has improved quite a bit actually. So that's also something to watch out for. But for me, the two stocks to watch now really are Yes Bank and Equitas. In fact, just pull out Equitas. We referred to it yesterday as well. That's the near-term way of markets thinking that the ones which were under pain because of the last regime would be the ones to rejoice. And the first trade really is going in favor of both Equitas and Yes Bank. Perhaps even a Bandhan Bank is something that you would want to look at. But Yes Bank really propelling the Bank Nifty right now.
Yeah, actually, at the moment, the markets are seeing a reasonable amount of recovery from the lows. But mind you, this is just the first tick that we're getting. We will have to wait and see. Ashwini, what's the first trade? Okay, do we have Ashwini with us? Okay, Sudarshan, what would your first trade be?
Close my short positions and step aside. Do not trade the index for the day. My 9-10 trade, although it was election time, was Dr. Reddy's, and I would also be buying Tech Mahindra. So IT and Pharma would be a buy today.
Okay, so buy into Tech Mahindra. In fact, that is one of the big Nifty gainers. Yes Bank is, of course, the biggest gainer right now, 2.5% higher. Mitesh, what's the call now? Would you also close your shorts if you had them?
Yeah, we've just done that, Sonia. We've had some put options positions open on the Nifty. I think good time to square off given the fact that the immediate rebound is pretty strong. So while you didn't catch the bottom, I think you've got a fair enough profit for last 2-3 days. For the timing, I think I would again contemplate start shorting in case Nifty starts feeling closer to about levels of 10,460, 470. So anything closer to about 10,450, I think I would again contemplate taking a short with a 35-point kind of a stop loss.
Okay, the market is almost, at the mid-cap side already in the green. So that's something which is quite interesting. Yes Bank perhaps was a bit of a no-brainer in the morning. At least that's how it's played out. The market's given you that trade in the first 5 minutes. Whether it lasts for the day or not, that's something we'll find out. But for now, up about 3%. Ashwani, your thoughts on market opening?
Well, it is a rebound, but will it sustain? And that remains an important question. I think 10,480, 500, that needs to be a kind of a zone above which you start to get long, because these sort of gap ups in a market which is in a strong trending down move generally does not sustain. So let's get to the end of the results and see how far this thing goes. I think HDFC Bank is coming off fairly strongly. So maybe the smaller stocks are getting pulled up while the large stocks are getting sold off. So for the moment, stay on the sidelines, and at higher levels, my opinion should be that you should sell into. Again, HDFC Bank have started very poorly. So chances are that that's where the pressure could come in.
Okay. Sudarshan, is there any other trade other than DRL?
No, the trade is primarily in pharma and IT on the long side, and completely avoid everything else, including banks and index.
Okay. Well, for now, it's still down, but it has recovered from the lows quite a bit.
The other point is, if you look at State Bank of India, I think the fact that, there's a Malia extradition, so the PSU banks are beginning to see a bit of a move. SBI in particular, which is the one which has the highest exposure, it's almost into the green now, so that stock is something you would want to keep on your radar. The Nifty PSU Bank is almost already into the green, and that is also one area where you want to keep.
In fact, many more stocks turning into the green now. Z Entertainment is up about 1%. GAIL is up about 1%. Indiabulls Housing Finance as well. Udin, hi, good morning. You did mention that you shouldn't take today's move seriously because it could be managed by the government, etc. But do you think all of these local cues could become a sideshow as the global growth scare becomes the overarching theme? I mean, that's the reason why our markets have been under pressure for the last few days in any case.
Well, in the medium term, that is the far more important cue, Sonia. There's no doubt about that. But in the next couple of days, I think our local cues might actually dominate, both the RBI thing and the political result. For the next 2 days at least, they will be the price setters, and eventually we'll come back to worrying about the global setup as well. And I think today's recovery is also because of a fair amount of short covering which is happening, because last couple of days the bears have made a lot of money. You started with a gap down, and I don't think the bears would have liked to overstay their welcome, because they generally are a skittish lot. So they are taking profits at this point in time and not waiting for the last bit of the election results to pay out. And you can understand, I mean, this huge gap down and then the immediate recovery is probably the bears taking profits more than anything else. As the day progresses and as the next couple of days unfold, we'll see how the institutions actually want to play this, and that might be a better indication of where prices stabilize. But I would not read too much into the immediate recovery that you're seeing at this point in time.
Yes, Udayan, I would assume that our stock markets are too deep for the days when an LIC or a UTI could come and intervene. Currency, yes, the Reserve Bank is huge with $400 billion jingling in its pocket, so they can and do often make a very big difference. But in the stock markets, I think that, as you say, it could be the bears probably pocketing profit first and then looking to see whether they should short more, which they are now doing. They're now doing that in the Nifty and the Sensex. We saw the Nifty and the Sensex start 1.3 down, come down to about 0.8 down, and again a little bit of...
Yeah, I think the reason for that could be the BJP is getting decimated in Chhattisgarh. It's no longer a close race in Chhattisgarh. It's 50-20.
It's a landslide.
It's a landslide for Congress. Though in Rajasthan, they're still in the game, and that could really be interesting.
Okay.
And NMP, BJP is ahead. But in Chhattisgarh, it's a bit of a decimation. Rajasthan, in fact, is turning out to be more of a cliffhanger than anything else.
Actually,